This right here is going to be a fun episode because I'm going to be talking about how to utilize ring control, how to corner your opponent in a ring, but also how to escape, because being on an open mat, an open floor is so different. I can run around, I can just utilize all the distance I want, and there is literally no cutoff if you know how to circle. You just circle and run, circle and run. But being in an octagon is a little bit harder. Being in a ring is so much harder, and so many people don't understand the fine points, the relatively simple points of cornering somebody. So let's touch on that right now. All right, if you are thinking about having a fight, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, you're gonna step inside a ring. And not every gym has a ring, and you don't have the ability to figure out, oh, what can I actually do? And even when people do have a ring to train in, a lot of times I see them get their opponent right into the corner and they don't know how to keep them here. They get to the corner, the person's stuck, and you're not able to control. And it is something that I utilize very often in my fights, which you need to know. Before we get to that, everybody keep in mind that my Strike Ready program is available for you. We have the defense course, we have the offense course, and we have the takedown course. All of these are gonna help you up your skill level so much through the fundamentals of what you need to know to be successful in competition. I have a link down below. You can jump on that anytime you're wanting to improve your striking skill set. Now I want you to imagine that there's somebody standing right there. They're standing right there and they are going to try and get out of the corner. Being in the corner is a terrible position because naturally, if I am stuck right here and I decide I want to go sideways, I can't. I also can't go the other direction. So I have to actually sort of cut off and move closer to my opponent. And that is when you're going to have success. So what that means is if I'm here and I have my opponent cornered and he starts trying to move this direction, he moves right into my punch. He goes to the other direction, he can move right into my kick. So for him to have to get out of there, he has to naturally move closer to me. The thing about it though is if he gets by me and I don't get my punch or my kick off, then naturally he can just zoom away and retake the center of the floor if I'm not fast enough. So what is the option which I can utilize to control them in that corner when they try to make their escape? Well, it would look something like this. If I want to get close enough to my opponent to hit them and he starts to move away this direction and I miss my punch, he's gone. So what I do is I stay just slightly outside of range, and if I see him start to make this move and I know I can't get a shot off, I very simply cut him off. Now from here I can re-engage on my kick or re-engage on my punch. I give him a little bit of pressure, he naturally has to go back to that corner, and then I control them there again. If they try to go this direction, I do that. So all I really need to do is move either here or here, corner them a little bit, get them back in there, throw some punches, back off. Again, if they try to escape, I cut them off this direction. It is as simple as taking those slight little angles when you are out of range. If I let them get within punching distance and I try to do that, I try to cut them off, I'm right here, I'm hitting, he goes to exit and I try and cut him off, he's gonna beat me. But when I have that extra range, there is no chance of them successfully escaping because I am in their path. You cut the path off by staying a little further away than you normally would. Now let's say I'm the person stuck in the corner and I'm going, oh, it happens so often, I get stuck in here, I don't know how to escape. What could I possibly do? Let's talk about a couple methods. Number one, if the guy gets very tight to you, they're crushing in against you, it's just a matter of me not freezing. It's a matter of me spinning out and getting not behind them because they'll move with me, but obviously getting around them. But that's the ideal time. What if it's not the ideal time? What if they're further back and they're using that footwork which we just talked about? I go this direction, he cuts me off. I try to go the other direction, he cuts me off. I go back to here, he starts laying into me a little bit. And then I try to go to the outside and he cuts me off. Okay, what am I looking to do? You need to, as we do when we punch, we need to fake. But you might be wondering, how do I fake without my arms or my legs? Well, we fake a direction. So if this guy's trying to control me in here, he's waiting for his moment to spring in, but every time I try and go this way, he cuts me off. Well, I fake one direction and then I cut out to the other side. Now, it's not as simple as that, and I might choose to disguise that with something like I'll come here, I'll throw a fake punch and then angle off, but having that ability to quickly change directions is going to be massive. It's going to be so imperative. And in addition, if I stay against the ropes as I do this, I'm in a really bad place. I want to naturally give him a reason to just back up a little bit. Maybe I throw a shot, I step forward, I try to cut. See, I have this distance here from the ropes, and then I can cut out to the other side, get my backs against the ropes again. But because I'm taking this angle and getting further and further away from him, he's going to have trouble closing off that corner. But if I go right from here and I try and go right against the ropes and then I come back and try to go right to this side, I'm going to be very unsuccessful. So creating distance initially as I start to move outwards here and then all the way back to the ring ropes is going to be a great way for me to distance myself from this opponent. And that's really what it's all about, because if he can strike me at any point, I'm going to feel more threatened. But as soon as I can get that extra 6 inches from him, I feel so much more comfortable on quickly taking that exit. And something else many people forget about is the give between this and this. When I get to here and I push, there is no give. I'm pretty much hitting a wall. It's very solid. But when I get to here and I push, I have that extra ability to either spring off or to get my head completely out of punch range. Because if they can punch me here, they can't punch me here. That means they're far too jammed. So using that ability to be here and go, this is terrible, this is an awful spot, slide off slightly, create some extra distance, sorry about the squeak, these are squeaky ropes, and then from there, maybe sliding under. Something like that is very important. So remembering that the corner is terrible, but here is not nearly as bad, that's imperative too, because being able to go from here to here, that's nothing. It's really nothing. This guy cannot stop you from doing that, but it gives you much more opportunity to create distance and protect yourself. So there are some tips for being in the ring and learning how to control your opponent and how to escape. Again, if you are thinking about fighting, you're wanting to compete, you need to make sure you're getting into a ring. Ring time is so important. I've had times in my career where I didn't have access to a ring at the gym I was normally training at, and I would trek to other gyms just to get 2 or 3 rounds of sparring in, 3 or 4 rounds of pad work, and just some shadow boxing in the night, just so I was comfortable. Because not being able to constantly run around changes things, and it's scarier. It's much scarier being in here than being out on the open floor. And octagon wise, many people have said that's even scarier for some reason to them because the door closes and then the latch is down and they're like, I can't escape. Well, you're not really going to escape out of a ring either. Nobody's going to run out of the ring away in fear, but you get the idea. It gets in people's heads. You want to have your ring time so you have that confidence. So if you have a fight coming, your gym doesn't have a ring, find a local place that will be able to give you at least a few rounds per week in it, and you'll be so much more confident. That's it, guys. Thanks for joining. I'll see you back here very soon.